Hello students, welcome to the class of new chapter. In this chapter, we are going to study about op-amp, right? A new device, a completely new device, but the most useful device in terms of project purpose, in terms of any mathematical or logical purpose. It can be denoted as one of the mostly used electronics device, that is op-amp. Okay, the name of the video, the title of the video I have given here as op-amp application, but we will study about the basics of op-amp as well as its application. So before we go to op-amp application, we need to know about the basics of op-amp. So the introduction, what is op-amp, mathematics of op-amp, characteristics of op-amp, ideal op-amp, types of op-amp, application of op-amp, and description of op-amp application. Now what is an op-amp? Op-amp, it is an abbreviation form of operational amplifier, which is an integrated circuit that uses external voltage to amplify the input through a very high gain. So, op-amp is an integrated circuit, is a chip that can be used to perform any mathematical or logical operation. This is the symbol of ideal op-amp. Okay, here in this video I will pause for some moments and I will tell you to draw the picture. So this is the first picture of an ideal op-amp. Just take a picture diagram of this one. Just have 2 or 3 minutes and take a diagram of this one. This is the ideal op-amp. Here you can see that it has 2 input terminals and 1 output terminals. So what are the characteristics of ideal op-amp? It has infinite input impedance, low output impedance, very large voltage gain at low frequency. Small changes in voltage can be amplified by using an op-amp. Infinite bandwidth, infinite common mode rejection ratio, and infinite power supply rejection ratio. So these are the characteristics of any ideal op-amp. Now come to non-ideal op-amp. It's better to say any practical op-amp. So this is the figure. Again, take some time and draw the figure. So this is the pictorial representation of a non-ideal op-amp. It's better to say a practical op-amp. This is opposite to the ideal op-amp. Only the positive and negative terminals are changed their position. There is a single external input signal. If it is connected to the positive input, then it will be a non-inverting op-amp, and if it is connected to a negative input, then it will be a inverting op-amp. A signal is also made to appear at the negative input terminal, but this is derived from resistors R1 and R2. So take 5 minutes and draw the diagram. So this is the diagram of a practical op-amp. So what are the characteristics of a practical op-amp? How it differs from an ideal one? First of all, its open loop gain is finite, that causes gain error. In case of ideal op-amp, we had an infinite open loop gain. Again, input impedance is finite, non-zero output impedance, finite CMRR, that is common mode rejection ratio, common mode input resistance, finite bandwidth, and finite power supply rejection ratio. So, in short, we can say in case of ideal op-amp, those properties, those characteristics, those are infinite. In case of practical op-amp, it does have a finite value, right? Similarly, in case of ideal op-amp, if some output characteristics are defined as 0, in case of practical op-amp, it will be a value but with a lower one. So this is the basic difference between an ideal one and the practical one. Now, what are the advantages of an op-amp? Op-amp is an universal amplifier. You cannot find any electronic application that you can't perform without op-amp. Yes, there are various other devices with which we can perform different types of electronics projects, electronics application, but a simple such an integrated circuit is op-amp, with which we can perform each and every mathematical logical operation, and we can build any electronic project. So what are the different advantages? Voltage comparator, precision rectifier, analog to digital converter. These are some basic, these are some very special kind of advantages that can be done only with op-amp. Other than this, digital to analog converters, filters, differentiator, integrator, voltage and current regulator, analog to computers. But what are the disadvantages? Most op-amp are designed for lower power operation. For high output, it is desired that op-amp specifically designed for that purpose must be seen. Most commercial op-amp shuts off when the load resistance is below a specific level. So these are some problems that we have faced using op-amp. Now, how does an op-amp look like, right? Op-amp IC number is 741, and this is the diagram that similar to which op-amp looks like. It's a very important part in terms of your question, in terms of your exam. So go through it, draw the diagram, take 5 minutes and complete it. So within 5 minutes, draw the diagram. It's a 741 IC. This is a notch. If you hold the IC in the forward, keep the notch in the forward direction, the left one will be on number 1 and the rightmost upper one will be on number 8. 741 itself, it's a 8-pin IC. So draw the diagram. So the number 1 pin is offset null, number 2 it's inverting input, number 3 it's non-inverting input, number 4 it's power supply, number 5 again it's offset null, number 6 is the output terminal, number 7 power supply, and number 8 no connection. This is the total pin diagram of op-amp. What is an op-amp? Actually in the inside. The actual count varies, but an op-amp contains several transistor, resistor, and a few capacitor and diode. For simplicity, an op-amp is depicted as this. These two are the inverting input and non-inverting input. This is positive power supply, negative power supply, and this one is the output. So this is actually an op-amp. Mathematics of the op-amp, the gain of any device can be described as output by input. So here the output is V out and the input is the difference between two input. So V positive minus V negative. The maximum output is the power supply voltage. When used in a circuit, the gain of the circuit as opposed to the op-amp component is AV, which is output by input. Op-amp characteristics. Open loop gain, it's typically over 9000, but closed loop gain is much smaller. R input is very large, R output is small. This is the op-amp characteristics. Ideal op-amp characteristics, open loop gain is infinite, R input is infinite, zero input current, and R output is zero. Now, what are the different types of op-amp? These are inverting, non-inverting, summing amplifier, voltage follower, integrator, and differentiator. What are different applications? Comparator, integration, differentiation, charge amplifier, capacitance multiplier, oscillator, filter, audio and video, preamplifier, and buffer. Voltage regulator, current regulator, digital to analog converter, voltage clamp, oscillator and waveform generator, and analog computer. Now the first one, comparator. Comparator does what? Comparator compares two voltages or currents and outputs a digital signal indicating which is larger. Two analog input terminal and one output terminal is there for comparator. The op-amp output voltage is limited by the supply voltage. Integration, it performs the mathematical operation of integration. This is the circuit diagram of an integrator circuit using op-amp. So first you draw it and then write down the equation of an integrator circuit. Here in space of feedback loop, it uses a capacitor. Here output signal is determined by the length of time a voltage is present at its input as the current through the feedback loop charges or discharges the capacitor as the required negative feedback occurs through the capacitor. So first draw the circuit of the integrator using op-amp and then write down the equation of output voltage and input voltage in the given slide. Here you can see output voltage is directly proportional to the integration of the input voltage. The details of all these application you can find in the next link given over there, op-amp application. So just go through it and now just keep in mind about what is integrator circuit, what is comparator circuit, how does the equation come, that we have discussed in another video. So after integration is differentiator circuit. Again, I will suggest you draw the diagram and write down the equation. Differentiator where the amplifies the difference between two voltages but does not amplify the particular voltages. This is the differentiation circuit. Here AC stands for common mode gain of the amplifier and AD stands for differential gain of amplifier. After differentiation, it's differential and common gain. So what is differential gain? Differential gain is given by equation AD equals to, and common mode gain is equation given by equation ACM equals to. Now next is charge amplifier. Constructed using op-amp with a feedback capacitor. The charge amplifier just transferred the input charge to another reference capacitor and produces an output voltage equal to the voltage across the reference capacitor. Since it depends upon the charging and discharging of the capacitor, it's known as charge amplifier. It acts as a charge to voltage converter. The input impedance of this circuit is almost zero. So this circuit almost looks like similar to an integrated circuit, where in space of feedback we have used the capacitor. Capacitance multiplier uses an amplifier to make a capacitor function like a capacitor that is much large. Used as a capacitance multiplier in such a way that multiple small physical capacitances are combined in an integrated circuit technology to yield a large overall capacitance. The aim is often to multiply the original capacitance value hundreds and thousands of times. So you draw the circuit diagram of capacitance multiplier. All these circuits are described in details in our next video, next class. These are just a preview of the application of op-amp. The next one is oscillator produces a repetitive oscillating electronic signal, often a sine wave or a square wave. Convert direct current from a power supply to an alternating current signal. It contains an energy storing element, a capacitor, or more rarely an inductor. The next one, the use application of op-amp is filter, active filter, which are again classified low pass filter, high pass filter, band pass filter, and band reject filter. A filter contains a device like an op-amp. Low pass filter allow low frequencies, and high pass filter, as the name implies, it allows high frequencies. A cutoff frequency is a frequency level above or below where a device fails to operate. So these are the equation of low pass filter transfer function and low pass filter cutoff frequency, and this is the circuit diagram of low pass filter. So give heading low pass filter, draw the diagram and write down the equation. This is low pass filter using op-amp. A combination of resistor and capacitor circuit is connected before the input terminal of op-amp. This is the same one. Next is the frequency response of low pass filter. Here you can see cutoff frequency is 159 Hz. It is also known as corner frequency, below which the signal exists and after which the signal becomes zero. So this is frequency response curve. Next is high pass filter. See the circuit arrangement. Here is just opposite to the low pass filter. In high pass filter, what happens? The capacitor and resistor change their position from the low pass filter. Frequency selective filter circuit. This is active band pass filter. Range is set between two cutoff frequency point, lower and upper higher frequency, while attenuating any signals outside of these 2 points. Made by cascading together a single low pass filter and a single high pass filter. So two filters are getting cascaded so that we can have a active band pass filter. This is the diagram of active band pass filter and the characteristics curve. This is important. I will suggest you draw the diagram. So this is the circuit diagram of active band pass filter using op-amp, where one high pass filter and another low pass filter is being cascaded. Band reject filter or band stop filter reject a specified band of frequencies and pass all others. The response is just opposite to that of a band pass filter. This is the graphical representation of band reject filter, where below or upper two cutoff frequencies the signal exists, but within the band there is no existence of the signal. So students, in particular this video, we have started about studying of op-amp. We are having more than 2 or 3 videos in our coming lectures that will cover the different application of op-amp, the different details of op-amp application. So before you go through those videos, you need to know the basics of op-amp, and I believe that this particular video will help you in studying, in knowing the basics of op-amp. So thank you once again for watching this. If you find any difficulties, you can ask me in the comment section. Thank you so much.